It appears that the war on stone men is intensifying. We got the statue of Thomas Jefferson finally removed from City Hall. Yes, congratulations. Racismus has ended. No more racismus in America. These statues, they were vibrating with racismus. Legend has it, if you stood next to a Thomas Jefferson statue, you could hear the whispers. Enslave them. Enslave them all. And normal people just became slave owners, and that's how slavery was almost brought into America yet again. But luckily, thanks to the anti-racists and the war on stone men, the racism is gone. Now, it's kind of funny because a lot of people were saying that this is going to happen, and the counter-argument from the intelligent people from the academia was it's a slippery slope. It's a logical fallacy. In other words, you're a person without logic if you are saying that in the future Thomas Jefferson statues are going to be taken down. In reality, it's just called following a pattern and taking an idea to the logical conclusion. I mean, if you're going to use today's morality to judge people of the past, then yes, literally every single one of them is going to be found wanting. I guess it's the fault of the administrators for not trying to disguise the Thomas Jefferson statue to make it look like Karl Marx so they would leave him alone. Although maybe one day they're going to figure out that even Karl Marx had hot takes about slavery. I'll let you guys Google it so you can find out for yourselves. But yeah, even Karl Marx would be wanting. And he's also kind of anti-Semitic despite the fact that he was Jewish, but he didn't like conservative Jews. He had hot takes about them as well. Although, like, you're never going to hear people pointing it out. They're never going to go after Karl Marx, which goes to show that they're not really concerned about people's ideology of the past. They're just concerned about the people espousing American ideology and trying to root America into a set of values that they don't like anymore. This is what it's really about. So, the reason you shouldn't judge people from the past with the morality of the present, well, are we going to judge doctors from within the time of the Black Death and say, why weren't they giving antibiotics to people? Why are the doctors doing malpractice? Of course not, right? Because morality, just like science, is constantly evolving. You have building blocks, and then the next generation builds upon those building blocks, so on and so forth. It's as ridiculous as blaming a caveman for not having invented electricity. Not to mention that most people from today, if they existed back during the time of slavery, they would probably be part of the system as well. In fact, you get to see this in California, yeah? Like, you have people who go into Californian prisons, and even though they're not racist, they become racist in the prison, because if you don't, the other inmates beat you up. So the moment you go into a Californian prison, you can find out a lot about this from actual prison channels on YouTube. But if you're a white person, then the other white people, they expect that you're going to fit in with them, and they expect that you follow the rules that they put forth. If you're a black person, same thing applies. Gang affiliations, like all of these things. And if you're a person that just goes in there and it's like, nah, I'm not going to deal with this, like we're not going to do the racist thing, you're going to get beaten up. And you can either go into solitary, but they're not going to change the system. The system is designed to be racist so that the guards can control the inmates. Because there's more inmates than there are guards, so the guards are trying to get the inmates to fight with each other, and they encourage this racism. So what I'm trying to say is that it's really dumb and really stupid to judge people of the past with the mentality of the present. Every single person is going to be lacking. And what's also interesting, the reason people celebrate Thomas Jefferson isn't because of his stance on slavery. They celebrate it because he's one of the founding fathers of America. And by the way, progressives understand this concept. Like, for example, George Floyd, right? He's got statues, but he's also got a criminal record. Now, I think that the progressives do not have statues with George Floyd because of his criminal record, right? Right? Is that, am I understanding it? But it's because progressives view him as a martyr. So they understand the concept, at least I think they do. So when they take down statues of Thomas Jefferson, I assume it's malice. Because they understand the concept of having a statue of a person that's not a perfect being, that's not Jesus Christ. At this point, they would probably take down statues of Jesus Christ because Jesus was anti-Semitic, wasn't he? He went with a whip started whipping people in the temple, violating TOS, manifest observable behavior according to Patreon, what Jesus did. Yeah, Jesus would definitely get canceled on social media for anti-Semitism if Jesus existed today. So even Jesus is wanting. The only person that's not wanting is probably Karl Marx. And of course, Mr. Floyd, for now, because we don't know what's going to happen 30 or 40 years from now. Apparently, you know, the people in the future might have a different morality than we do, and they might not like George Floyd because he was eating meat, and in the future everyone is vegan, and anyone that ate meat is problematic and doesn't deserve a statue. Because the rules are being applied retroactively, right? But what I find very interesting is the fact that the person that removed the statue also wanted to do it under the table. So notice how the removal of the statue is either done through the mob, that one day the mob just decides to go there and smash down the statue, or it's being done without a public conversation. So this is the interesting part. Like, they know that it's very unpopular what they're doing. They know that they're in a minority, but they're doing it anyway because they're in a position of power, and they abuse that power that was given to them. So as you can see, the commission attempted to vote on the statue's removal without public hearing on the controversial move until the Post revealed their plan. The Kerry Butler, executive director of the Public Design Commission that voted to banish the statue. I love how it's called. It's like banished. It's like it's a demon. It's like you banish it to the netherrealm. At first tried to block the press from witnessing the removal, but he then relented after members of the mayor's office and city council intervened. This is why I don't like these people. It's not what they're doing, but the way they're doing it. Under the table, under the darkness of the night, like crooks, like thieves, sneaking in the statue outside, telling the press to fuck off. Why do you think that is? Because they know that what they're doing is unpopular, and they know what they are doing is pissing people off, but they do it anyway because they can, and they have a big cock, and they want to spin it like a helicopter in your face, and it's like, we get to do this, and there's nothing you can do. Wahaha, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Who has the power? Who is Tsuyoy? We are. You're insignificant. And it's fascinating to live in a time where convincing the other side isn't even being attempted anymore. Like, they're not going to try to convince you why the statue of Thomas Jefferson needs to be removed. Like, they probably know they can't even do that. They probably know they don't have the argument, so they don't even try. Instead, they just flex their muscles. And it's interesting because if history has taught us anything, is that there is a pendulum, and it's swinging. I mean, a couple of decades ago, some of you might even be alive if you're old enough, you had McCarthy, and he was accusing everyone of being a communist, and communists were being persecuted. They didn't like that very much. And now the communists are the ones that are persecuting people. And they're trying to erase tradition, and they're trying to pull up the anchor that roots society and traditions and whatnot. And they're happy when they're doing it. They get a rush of pleasure as they get to influence their will on other people. And I'm pretty sure that in the future, the pendulum is going to swing back into the other direction. And I'm curious, what are they going to say then? What arguments are they going to make then? But anyway, it was fun riding down another slippery slope. I love slippery slopes because I know at least where I end up. And I'm curious where they're going to go after the Abraham Lincoln statue. I know they really want to, like they have a big boner, but a little bit more problematic with Lincoln, isn't it? Like, they're going to have to figure out something. Like, maybe Lincoln wasn't agreeing with Greta Thunberg. Maybe he was polluting. Like, maybe they're going to go after a different angle. Maybe he was a misogynist or something. And they're going to tackle him based on that. Because with racism, it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to Lincoln. But I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. So, if you have an Abraham Lincoln statue in your care, try to disguise it as Karl Marx. Put it a nice beard around it. Like, give him a hammer and sickle. Do something so that it makes these people try to find different statues. But eventually, like, they were going to come from Abe as well. Oh, I know why. He's the one that came up with the idea of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is very problematic. Maybe that's why they're going to go after him. But anyway, as usual, if you like this video, please consider sharing it around. If you want to support this channel, there's a link into the pinned comment section. And don't forget that I'm going to do a live stream later on tonight. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And I'll see you in the comment section. Take care. Actually, you know what? Like, why do I say I hope you guys enjoyed this? Like, why is it enjoyable about the fact that the statue of the founding father is being removed after 187 years? But why would you enjoy this? Unless I have progressives in the... Are you a progressive? Huh? Do let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.